This an all-out blitz, real hard hits, them other podcast trash, we gon' make them all quit. We cover all the topics with intelligence and logic. I know you wanna score, but ID gon' stop it. We from Texas, so that mean that we Texans. Breaking down the X's and O's, our profession. No complaining, just training, you see the progression. They had a Pro Bowl for talk shows, we get selected. We gon' celebrate every win like a birthday. Ray J with the news, first with all the updates. Spin move on the competition, yeah, we juking them. You not really in touch if you not tuning in. This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT. We want the touchdown, we not trying to go for 3. And it's best if you get up out the street, cause them bulls out the pen and they bout to stampede.
Yo, everyone, welcome to the Texans Fan Battle Podcast. As always, I am Matthew Briggs, joined by amazing trio. But Crenshaw, like I said before, likes to be a diva, so he'll make a late appearance. But with me, as always, I got Mr. Brown, Chubby Bear himself, VT. Say what's up to the folks.
What's going on, guys?
And guys, we are honored to get some other Texan content creators. If y'all like great Texans content, you'll love these guys. Starting off with Mr. Ruben Calvillo from 713 Houston Sports. Say what's up.
What's going on, everyone? Sup, 713 in the building. H-Town till we drown out here.
Hey, man, sorry if I murder your name, you know.
It happens. Calvillo.
And always we got from the lead, Mr. Harley Dugan. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, doing just fine, man. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Hey, man, thanks for coming on. It's a pleasure, man. It's always great to talk Texans. You know, a lot of people think we suck and nobody watches the Texans, but obviously they don't pay attention to football because we're on the rise. So, guys, let's kind of break it into before we jump into the Texans. Let's jump into some NFL news. So, yeah, Alex Smith, it says that defensive-minded coaches cannot produce a quarterback. I'll start off with you, Ruben. What's your thoughts on this?
It's just hearsay, at this point. Who said it? Alex Smith?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, Alex Smith, you weren't even a good quarterback in the league, buddy. I don't want to hear that. The Houston Texans, they got the right head coach and they got the right quarterback. What people don't realize is that DeMeco Ryans, he really cares about the character of the player. And, it goes back to his inaugural press conference, right? When he mentioned Fred Warner, of course, he's one of the best linebackers in the NFL. But the first thing he said was he's a husband and he's a God-fearing man.
Right.
That shows you pay attention to stuff more than football. And we know football is more of a game, but DeMeco Ryans brings that family aspect. You already see him raving about CJ Stroud. I don't care about those comments from Alex Smith.
Same.
Shout out to Kaepernick.
Right. Harley, what about you?
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard that.
Caught me off guard. I was like, what?
Yeah,
okay. Well,
okay. I didn't even hear about that today. Of course, I haven't really been on Twitter too much today like I usually am. But yeah, that's odd. I understand that, when you look at the head coaches, there's a lot of offensive-minded head coaches. Okay, I understand what you're trying to say in terms of that. But, dude, we got the hottest head coach on the market. Did everyone else that tried to interview DeMeco Ryans just look like a dumbass too? Is that what we're going to say? It's not my fault we had a defensive player in J.J. Watt ruin your career. End your career. It's not my fault. Is that the vendetta you got against defensive guys now? Is that what it is, or is this a national hot take media kind of guy now? Is that what Alex Smith's going to turn into? Is he going to be that national media guy that's going to be hot take, viral attention kind of guy? I have enough of that. When I see shit on ESPN and stuff, I don't need to see any more of it. If that's what he wants to believe, more power to you. I'm gonna mind what's inside my building.
There you go. Yeah, every team that was looking for a head coach requested DeMeco Ryans. So don't be a hater. That's what it comes to. BT, I'll kick it off with you.
So what he was trying to say, and I don't believe what he's saying, but what he basically said was that there was a difference between a head coach that's basically telling a rookie quarterback or even a sophomore quarterback, hey, just don't fuck it up, versus a head coach that's saying, I want to put the team on your back, and it's typically an offensive-minded coach that's doing that. So I think that's where he's coming from. However, I don't believe that just because you're a defensive-minded coach, that means you want your rookie quarterback to not put the team on back when it's necessary. I think the style of play that you have really comes from the scheme that you have, and the OC is very important there. So I don't think it's really the head coach that's as not saying he's not important, but I don't think the head coach itself, just because you're defensive-minded, means you're not going to ask a rookie quarterback or a sophomore quarterback to put the team on the back. I think it matters on what can that quarterback do? What situation are you in? Because every head coach is going to play situational football, and there are times where you have to put your team on the quarterback's back, and the other times where you're playing hard, consistent football, where you're running the ball a lot, where you don't have to throw 40 yards every fucking third down, where you're actually playing good football, where you're not asking the quarterback to do that. So to me, it doesn't matter whether you're a defensive-minded head coach or offensive-minded head coach. It matters about situational football, what is going on right now, and then that's what you ask your quarterback what to do.
Yeah, you have to go back to what Ruben said, right? It's all about the character. D'Amico said several times that C.J. Stroud is a leader, right? So if he is asked to put the team on his back, there's no doubt that he's going to, or at least try to. That's all you need is someone to try. Like Davis Mills at times didn't seem like he even tried. Like he just went out there to cash a paycheck. But here's my thing. That's what an offensive coordinator is for. That's what a quarterback coach is for. That's why you have all these pieces for, is to coach that quarterback. Yes, he might not have the same insight as Bobby Slowick or Gerard Johnson, but that's why he has those guys. So they can come up to D'Amico and say, hey, man, C.J. Stroud is hurting when you go to the bootleg left. Let's do it to the right. Like, there's different things that could be used instead of, putting it on D'Amico. It's not all on D'Amico. That's why it's a team sport. That's why you have all these coaches. So I gotta agree with Harley. I think he's just trying to clickbait. He's not in the spotlight no more. What sucks is I like the guy. I mean, good story. He got hurt, tried to come back, but sometimes you just need to shut up. Speaking of people that never shuts up, which I love the dude, Pat McAfee just signed an 8-figure deal to be the voice of ESPN. Harley, I'll kick off for you. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Dude, I'm a huge fan of Pat McAfee. Just absolute fan of him. I mean, from the WWE stuff, he's fantastic.
Everything he touches turns to gold, man.
Exactly. He's the Midas. He's King Midas. That's what he is. And I mean, now I question, look, he still has full creative control, which is a huge thing, massive thing to have for him. Obviously, there's going to be a lot less F-bombs. And, because ESPN, Disney, so I think Pat McAfee and, I think I heard this on 610 with them mentioning a lot of some of the guys like that, Stephen A. and maybe some other ones. Maybe someone leaves, maybe he ends up becoming more of a face of somewhat of a face, someone they're going to make money off of, really. He's going to be a cash cow for them. But, I mean, I love Pat McAfee. I've loved him since NXT. I loved him in commentating. I've loved him in the college, which I think he could take over for that old man over there, Lee something. I can't think of his darn name right now. But I mean, I like I said, I love me some Pat McAfee.
Yeah, even that, what was it, 4 years ago when he roasted the whole Titans at the draft? Loved it. Like, I mean, anytime somebody roasts the Titans, it's gold, So, BT, I'll kick it off to you.
Yeah, I love Pat McAfee. I don't know how you can't. One thing though is I like watching, him unedited. I catch him a lot on YouTube. He's in the background when I'm working. A lot of times I switch between him and 610 a lot. So the thing is that Harley, you said he's going to have Disney behind him, and so he's going to be edited now. So how good is he going to be? Because when he is his raw self, when he can do whatever he wants, he's great. And I think now that he's going to have to be edited, he won't be able to have the conversations that he normally has. I wonder what's going to happen. It's not just the F-bombs. Like, look what happened with Brett Favre, right? He called out Brett Favre and had a lawsuit, right? A huge defamation lawsuit. And he said, F you, I'm going to take care of this myself. Now someone can go after ESPN. Will they limit what he can actually say to prevent potential lawsuits? So the question is, how much reign will they have? It's going to be curious to see if he's the same Pat McAfee or if he's Pat McAfee light.
Okay. All right. What about you, Ruben? Finish it off for us.
No, I'm excited for it. The one great thing that Pat McAfee did is not only did he elevate himself, but he put his boys on as well. Yes. Every single one of them, will be going to ESPN with them. Look, Pat McAfee is all of our dreams, right? If ESPN came up to us and say, hey, y'all can have a show together, we're jumping at the bits. Shout out to Pat McAfee for not only elevating his future, but his boys as well. That is life changing. The F-bombs, that doesn't really concern me because I've heard Pat McAfee be amazing without even saying F-bombs, right?
Look at Thursday night or when he did a Friday night SmackDown,
Yeah, no, he had a 40-minute episode video about him and his boys went to the Atlanta Falcons owner's wedding and how crazy that was. No F-bombs in there. And it's just Pat McAfee is a dude. And ESPN, I look at them, I see kind of a lot of politics. I see a lot of, like Harley said, people trying to be famous, trying to clout chase, right? You have Dan Orlovsky making those weird ass faces just for someone to meme him. I think Pat McAfee is what ESPN needs. And I think it's the way it's going to go in the future of sports. I think people are starting to go away from the analyst to let me actually listen to someone who knows the sport, who's played the sport. And even with us, right? Let me listen to someone who is actually from my city.
Right. And yeah, just entertaining, right? I mean, like you cannot sit there and not watch one episode and not be entertained. It doesn't matter what he's talking about. He can talk about cricket, and I have nothing, no knowledge of cricket, and I'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it, let's go. My only thing is almost a year and a half ago on my other podcast, the AFC South Fan Battle, we started tweeting every day. We're at 489 days of him coming on to the podcast. He DM'd us. He followed us. Come on, Pat. Make us happy. Come on the show, man. Do us a favor. Share us some of that awesomeness. All right, guys. Well, last thing about the NFL news. Joe Burrow. He said he does not want to talk to the media about his contract because it's not fair to others. VT, I'll start with you. What do you think?
I think just to talk about this in terms of the Texans, because I'm selfish and I care about the Texans first and foremost. A lot of us have been talking about whether or not we can get T. Higgins. And that matters a lot on how much they have to pay Joey Burrow. We're thinking that he's probably looking at close to $60 million, right? The dude went to a Super Bowl already. You saw what Lamar Jackson got. You obviously know what Deshaun Watson got. So could he get up to $60 million? And we also know that the Bengals are one of 4 teams where the owner is not a billionaire. He's not cash rich. He's actually cash poor. He actually started putting a name on the stadium just so he can start paying and preparing to pay Joey Burrow and the other dudes here. So the real question now is Joey Burrow going to take a little bit, not a pay cut necessarily, but structure it differently where his payday is at the end? And the risk for him is that if it's not guaranteed up front, if it's not guaranteed every year, then he can hurt himself and then never see that big payday. If he doesn't do that, if he says, no, pay me now, then will we get an opportunity to get someone like T. Higgins, or will anyone get an opportunity? I think Joey Burrow is doing it right. Don't discuss contracts with the media as much as we're all fans and we want to know every single in and out of how the contracts are doing. What he's doing is smart. Don't discuss with the media. We have no clue what we won't have any idea what's going on, and we shouldn't have any idea what's going on until it's done. I know that they'll get the deal done. The question really is, how is that going to be structured? How is that going to affect the Bengals in terms of their Super Bowl run? And how will it affect the Texans, little old Texans? How will we be able to get T. Higgins? That's what I care about.
All right. Coming all the way from Philadelphia, I got Mr. James. No, I'm just kidding. I got Crenshaw. What's up, man? By the time we came up on here. So what do you think about this whole Joe Burrow keeping the media out of his contract talks?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. What up, Harley? What up, Ruben?
What's going on, man?
What up, VT? What up, Matt?
What up?
Shit, they don't need to be in his business. You know, that's his contract, you know. Whatever he wants, he's gonna get. So it don't really matter if we in his business or not, because he's earned every right to do what he gotta do. But I hope he gets the most ever, which he is, because I like the guy and I hope our quarterback end up being just like him.
I see Joe. All right, Ruben, what about you? What do you think?
No, I think it's real good. Just like V said, you know, nowadays everyone knows what's going on with the contracts. We look at Twitter, right? Who was it? Quinnen Williams, Harley. He told me the other day that puts on his bio defensive tackle for who? ... I think Joe Burrow is going the old way, right? Don't pocket watch. At the end of the day, we're trying to win some games. And we haven't seen this from a player in a while. So shout out to Joe Burrow for, you know, kind of standing to himself.
Yeah. Harley, what about you?
He knows his worth. He's got an agent. Let the agent do the details. You know, he went to a Super Bowl. He should. I mean, I believe with that team and everything, they should go to another Super Bowl, probably win one. So, I mean, I don't really care for it. The only thing I do care about is what VT mentioned. T. Higgins. Is T. Higgins, what is going on with that? What is, you know, if I'm the Texans, hey, I'm keeping, you know, a little peek through the door real quick, a little window watch real quick, you know, kind of, you know, I'm just taking a look, see what's going on over there. How's the water feeling over there? You know, like that's what I'm taking a look at, you know, so that's the only thing that I really care for. Joe Burrow, look, he's going to get his money.
For sure. I agree with you. All right. Well, let's move to some Texans content. The reason why we're here, right? So we got a couple moves. We signed tight end Jordan Murray and the undrafted linebacker Ian Swinson. And then we cut Jermaine Carter. I'll start with you, Ruben. What is your expectation for this team? Who's going to make the roster? Who's going to get cut? And what do you expect from the Texans?
I mean, so first, record-wise, as much as we are excited, you know, I'm going 7 wins at the very lowest for this team. We still have a ways to go. This team, I think V mentioned it in the space the other day, that they played the most rookie snaps out of all other NFL teams. And, you know, that does carry on to next year. And when you have a draft class of 6 new rookies who you expect all of them to make an immediate impact, you know, stuff is going to get, you know, it's going to be a minute before we get good. Some players I think are going to be on the bubble. I don't have any confidence in Nico Collins anymore. Okay. I think entering year 3, right? Don't forget, we traded 3 third-day picks for him. It was Davis Mills and Nico Collins to start the Nick Caserio era. And both of them, we can honestly say, haven't panned out for this Houston Texans team. We see a lot of Xavier Hutchinson, love getting thrown out there. I think Nico Collins might be a prize potential. He might not be here no more at the end of the season.
And it sucks too because we passed up St. Brown for him to the Lions. So it's like, man, what could have been, right?
Yeah, no, what could have been. But, also before we, move on, I think we need to shout out our GM. Let's not forget, after week 18, you lose the number 1 overall pick. You don't even let Lovie Smith make the flight home. And he said it 3 times. If I don't do my job this offseason, I'm not going to be here. He brought us D'Amico Ryans. He brought us C.J. Stroud. He brought us Will Anderson Jr., Tank Dell. And you still have 1, 2, 3 picks next year in all 3 rounds. And then you have the most cap space next year with $112 million. The Houston Texans, man, they could turn this thing around quick if they wanted to.
Yeah, especially like this last offseason. Not a lot of free agents were, we need him. We got to have him. Next year, though, on the other hand, there's a lot of young guys that are, injury prone. There's some question marks about them. And you do the whole Nick Casario way, right? 1 year prove it deal.
Yeah, no, and also I think for this for this free agency class, you brought in a veteran for every single position group. For the secondary, it was Jimmy Ward, linebackers Perriman, D-line Sheldon Rankins, and for the O-line, Dalton Schultz, bringing back Tunsil, Shaq Mason. Even though this free agency wasn't as sexy as we wanted it to be, I think it was very solid.
And you've also got Case Keenum, who everybody says could be a coach in the league. So that's what you bring him in here for, right? Is to mentor C.J. Stroud, to get him ready, especially a guy who knows the system. And so I know everybody was hating that move. I thought it was brilliant, but it's over now. So what can I say? Harley, what about you, man? What do you think?
In terms of the record first, I think realistic approach for me is 6 or 7 wins. That's the realistic approach for me. Ruben knows my hot take, and if y'all want to know, then I'll drop it around later.
We'll get those hot takes.
6 or 7 wins realistically. You still got a lot of uncertainties when you really want to take a look at it. When I try to take my bias out of it, there's still some uncertainties with this ball club. And then cut guys, I go down to looking at the position group that I feel like wasn't addressed enough. And I know you added Sheldon Rankins. I know you added Hassan Ridgeway. I'm still a little shaky on the interior defensive line group. Malik Collins is a fantastic pass rusher when he's on the field. In terms of run stopping, he's okay. He's not someone you really want as a run stopper. He's a better pass rusher. And then you got Hassan Ridgeway. You have the cohesion there from the San Francisco 49ers. Worked with D'Amico. Okay, that's cool. I don't mind that. I'm looking at Kurt Hinish, Roy Lopez. One of them 2 guys. And I love Roy Lopez. Viva la raza, man. I love my boy. Okay, I got my shirt made for him. I love the salsa dancing. Like, I'm a big fan of Roy Lopez. And I know people are like, dude, Roy Lopez sucks. Why are you a fan of him? Like, dude, it's because orale, way, like this that's my guy, bro. Like,
who is this Titans fan commenting us?
We ain't gonna get into that Titans fan. But we don't get. I don't talk about mid on this podcast. Okay. So Roy Lopez, even though I'm talking about Roy Lopez, how ironic. 2 years ago, I met him at the draft party. He was a fantastic guy. I love the dude. Got to talk to his agent. Like, there's a lot of bias when it comes to Roy Lopez for me. But take that out of mind. Him, Kurt Hinish, Roy Lopez 6th-round pick. Hinish was an undrafted guy. I'd really like some more depth on that interior line. It's just that was the biggest weakness of the Texans. You let go 5.7 yards a carry last year. I mean, I don't like it. I wish it was addressed just a bit more. I like Sheldon Rankins. I do. I want something else. That doesn't really excite me. I think one of those 2 guys are definitely on the bubble. If anything, if there's always a bunch of cut guys that come out in the NFL later. So, if there's someone that's not too bad, I don't mind adding him to the D-line. You could see maybe both of them guys getting cut. Who knows?
Oh, okay. I like it. Hey, man, I feel the same way. I have a John Simon jersey. Like, John Simon was my boy. And so I feel you there.
John, wait, John Simon.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, look, he made some plays for the Texans.
OG 51.
Oh, yeah, Super Bowl winner, John Simon, but man, just couldn't stay healthy. So I get it. But yeah, I have to agree with you, Harley, too. I think Rankins is a stop guy, right? Like next year when he's a free agent or in the draft where there is some defensive tackles, go after them. He's only here. We only signed him 1 year, right?
I believe so.
And Ridgeway 2 years, I think.
Rankins is a 1 year deal.
Yeah, 1 year, 10.5. But listen, he had his best year PFF wise last year under Robert Saleh. He's gonna have the familiar with the D'Amico Ryan defense. We're gonna put a little more pressure on him because honestly, he should be the captain of this defensive line group. I like Jerry Hughes, I like Jonathan Grenard, but Sheldon Rankins, he's here for a reason. I'm excited for him, man.
Yeah. All right, I'll kick it off. BT, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that we're on the same page when it comes to wins for the most part. On our live stream when we did the schedule release, my record was 7-10. So it looks like we're on the same page there. In terms of who makes it, I will have to say, and I always have to preface this because I always get shit for saying why you shit on Nico Collins. See that over there in the back over there with the 84?
Yeah.
All right. That was Nico Collins' jersey that I had signed when he became a Texan before he changed to 12. I really believed in him. And I have to agree with Ruben that I don't think he makes a squad. I think by the end of this year, you will see Xavier Hutchinson take that wide receiver 2 role. I think that Robert Woods is going to be the wide receiver 1 this year, and that Xavier Hutchinson is going to surprise a lot of people. I probably should have waited for the hot take segment to say that, but I think Xavier Hutchinson has a size. He has the catch radius. He can make those contested catches, and he has the surest.
Pause.
No pause. So, I mean, this dude has the surest hands in the entire draft. A drop rate of less than 4%. I think a lot of people who question, the surety of his hands, watch the Texas game, that critical drop, and judge his entire collegiate career on that one drop. And that's just not fair. So I think they saw what I saw in Xavier Hutchinson. We got a steal at getting him at like 205, I believe it was. And, he dropped 100 spaces and spots. And I think there was 2 reasons why. One of them was that his combine was slow. He's not the fastest dude on the field. But you know what? Either was Hopkins. Hopkins wasn't fast either. I'm not saying he's going to be Hopkins, but I'm just trying to put that in perspective, that you don't need to run a 4.4 and better to be an excellent wide receiver, right? And the other thing was that prime time drop in Texas. Like, I think that does matter when people think, hey, can you perform under high pressure times, critical times? I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I do doubt that Nico Collins remains. I don't even know if he'll stay healthy, but even if he does stay healthy, I don't know if he remains anywhere in a wide receiver 3 group. I think he moves to wide receiver 4 or possibly even 5. I do think it does suck that we traded 2 fourths and the 5th to get him, and we passed over Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, the amount of capital that we gave up for Nico Collins at this point is a third round pick, right? The 89th overall, 2 fourths and a 5th. All for a wide receiver that will probably end up being a wide receiver 4 or wide receiver 5. Think that does suck. But in the other things that I want to talk about is the running back room. Pierce is obviously the running back 1. Singletary, I think, will continue to be the running back 2. But I think X to the V, Valladay, the one that we signed in the UDFA, he's 24 years old. I think that's the reason why he dropped. And I think that he makes a squad as running back 3. And now we have a really hardcore running back room, whereas last year all we had was Pierce. So God forbid if Pierce goes down, I think we can still continue to run the ball effectively. As far as the O-line, we invested a lot in this O-line. We extended Larry Tunsil in the offseason, made him the highest paid left tackle. We brought on Shaq Mason, a top 10 guard, paying him quite a bit of money. We'll likely extend Titus Howard during the season as well, probably paying him anywhere from $15 million to $17 million, probably around there. We brought Drew Scruggs, who has been through adversity, been to hell and back, came out, became a team captain, will perform well in zone blocking. We really just need to make sure he can execute. And then the real question mark, in my opinion, is Kenyon Green. We traded down and we got him for the 15th overall pick, but he had a horrendous season. Now, he did go against tough competition. We saw some flashes of greatness during run blocking situations, but he was getting manhandled last year. And the real question is, can he actually prove who he should be? Now, last year, the excuse was that he had knee surgery and he wasn't really in training camp a lot because he was recovering. Well, unfortunately, he had to have knee surgery again. And so I will not accept that excuses here. So I do think they made a really good decision by getting both Scruggs and Patterson because they both can play center or guard. So my prediction is if that Kenyon Green does not play well in the first 2-3 weeks, that they'll bench him and put one of them at guard to make sure that CJ Stroud is safe.
I gotta disagree with you on that one, bro. Kenyon Green coming out of college was the best run blocking guard from A&M. He finished the season. His last two to 3 games were very solid. And we all know, hey, how bad was Lerman Tunsil in his rookie year? I'm sorry, not Lerman Tunsil, Dwayne Brown.
Dwayne Brown. Yeah,
was absolutely horrible. I think you need to give Kenyon Green some time, but I do agree that this is a very important season for him. I even dropped that video today. He definitely has to prove himself, but not by week 2 or 3, man.
So, well, all right. Maybe I'll say I'm a little wrong about the weak numbers, but think about this, right? CJ Stroud is a rookie; he has to have protection.
I agree.
So if Kenyon Green isn't providing that protection, I'm not saying they bench him for good. Like that's the last we see him of the entire season. But I can see him getting benched, putting in someone in there, keep the protection up, working with Kenyon Green up for another 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then bringing him back out again, because you cannot make CJ struggle under pressure right away. We know that one of the points where he struggled in college is when he had intense pressure. So you cannot put him in a situation right from the get-go when we've invested this much in the O-line to have one spot where he's not able to get the protection he needs. So I think they made a conscious decision to make sure, hey, we can swap out a guy if we need to. Again, I'm not saying that I'm giving up on Kenny Green or anything. I think he should be good.
Are you calling him a bust if we bench him week 3?
I'm sorry?
Are you calling him a bust if we, go your route and bench him week 2 or 3?
No, I'm not calling him a bust. I'm just saying that we bench him and we're going to give him some more time. Maybe he still needs to heal his knee. We'll bring him back. But I do think it's a potential that we bench him, and if he's not doing his job.
I don't think we went Patterson and Scruggs just for that reason. I think it's for the depth, right? Like when Brett did what Brett did, and then we had BT's boy Quesenberry in there, it went to hell. And I think that's the biggest flaw for Green was Quesenberry. Like the guard position has to rely on the center, especially in pass blocking. When you have a suck ass center, I mean it's going to hurt his game a little bit. Plus, zone blocking helps out every position on the line, especially when it comes to young rookies, linemen. So I don't think he's going to get killed like he did last year. And like Ruben said, he did improve. So I think he's going to consistently improve, especially now he has more time with training camp and whatnot. So,
well, let me just clarify something because I'm seeing this in the comments from Richard Lorenzo. I am not saying if they bench Kenyon Green that it's over for him. Just make sure you get that clear. I'm saying that if they bench Green, that they'll bring him back later on, but they will not keep him in the game if he's continually getting pancaked.
Why even bring him back if you bench him though?
Why? Because you're hoping that he's learning shit, that he's not doing the exact same thing, right? That you bench him and that he's learning from his mistakes, right? I mean, he's essentially being punished.
Go ahead, Harley. Go ahead. I see Harley shaking his head.
You can't rotate linemen.
Yeah,
you just can't do it. And I saw the one comment there to rotate linemen to keep them fresh. Like, no, you either stick with one guy or you go with the other one. And if whoever you put in, you're telling me right now, like the implication here is you don't have a lot of trust in Kenyon Green. I get that. I understand that. But if you're pulling him by week 3, buddy, that's telling me he don't know jack squat. So he's got to get it going.
And what does that tell to the player who you just took 15th overall last year, the first interior lineman off the board? If you bench him by week 3, bro, I don't believe in you, Kenyon Green.
That kills him. And then I think of it like this. I'm looking at it. I look at way back when Gary Kubiak got here. Wade Smith had no position with the New York Jets. And I mean, no position. He was a little lost. He's even admitted it before too. Like he just didn't have no set position with the Jets. He comes here. He's a Pro Bowler. Mike Brazel comes here. Pro Bowler. Zone blocking scheme, like Matt said, it helps your blocking. Okay, it helps all your blockers. It helps all your offensive linemen. Jaret Patterson, to me, is nothing more than a Justin McCray replacement. Like, that's who he is to me, because he plays center, he plays guard. That's when I saw Patterson, I liked the move because, yeah, if, you know, we don't hope for that, but if Juice Scruggs isn't up to snuff, then maybe you grab and double dip into a position of weakness at center that Jaret Patterson can maybe, hey, he could take a load off and maybe he could start at center for you. Don't want that. I hope Juice Scruggs is a badass, okay? I don't want that. But that's what I saw Patterson as. You're quitting. If you're quitting on – you're pulling the plug on Kenyon Green after week 3, then his career should be done. Like that means he hasn't just done jack squat for you. Okay. I can't rotate linemen. Can't do it.
But again, he's not the only one, right? Like we mentioned before, I think it was
the first round pick though, bro.
Right? Dwayne Brown was benched, right? So like you can bench a lineman and bring them back. It's not the end of the world. Especially when you have a rookie QB that you know struggles under pressure.
VT, you talking like Bill O'Brien is still here. They're not gonna
Mike
bench him, man.
Devlin. This is Mike Devlin.
He's a first round pick. He got to be out there. He got to play. And you know, like Harley said about the other players we got from other teams and came here and has success. Chris Myers, another guy. He wasn't good with Denver. Came here, Pro Bowler. So you got to give.
Winston. Winston didn't do shit after the Texans. Yeah.
Love me some.
Yeah. So you got to give him a chance. And I agree with you guys about Nico Collins and Roy Jacob Lopez. I agree with him. He's not going to make it, but I see Devin Singletary, the motor, as running back 1 over Pierce. That just
what?
Yes.
What?
The motor, yes. He didn't get the touches that he should have got in Buffalo, and I think, my opinion, he's a better running back than Pierce.
Oh, I already had that blown over.
So I'm giving you my hot take early. You know, that's my hot take early.
Ruben, Harley, we kind of skipped over you. What's your
Harley's about to explode.
That's too hot of a take. You get that hot ass pan and throw it out the damn door. Like, that's what you can do. I mean, Devin Singletary over Dameon Pierce. That's up there with the Justin Henry show saying that Dameon Pierce is a tryhard. That to me means that you agree with that. That's what that tells me. Dameon Pierce, if you saw him in 13 games, 931 rushing yards, and he had injuries that, you know, I don't know, maybe to me, honestly, if we were winning, I think he could probably play through some of them injuries, but that's besides the point. No, Devin Singletary, I like him. I do. But
I think he goes off for 800.
I think
that's fantastic. Great for him. Dameon Pierce is running back 1.
Oh, you're saying Singletary. I think Pierce is going for 1,000.
So here's my hot take then. Dameon Pierce is going for 1,200.
Oh, that's not a hot take, man. We agree.
If the O-line does actually perform, right? I mean, look at what he was able. He almost got 1,000. If they didn't make the administrative decision and to sit him down, he would have easily had 1,000 last year, right? And that's with a shitty offensive line, right? That the interior offensive line was just garbage. Now imagine an actual real offensive line. Yeah, he's going to go off, and I do think they're going to use him to make sure that not everything's put on CJ Stroud's back. I mean, just look at West Coast, what they do with Brock Purdy. Just look at what they did with Brock Purdy. You know, a lot of people are expecting CJ Stroud to put the team on the back. That's not what's going to happen. And I have faith in CJ Stroud. I'm just saying, like, that's not what Slovik's going to do. He's going to trust the run game to be strong. He's going to use play action. We're not going to see a ton of downfield throws from CJ Stroud. It's going to be a lot of short passes, a lot of 5, 7, 10-yard passes. He's going to use Dalton Schultz as that dump off. He's going to use Tank as that hot route. You know, we're not going to that's the type of shit that I think we're going to see. I don't think, you know, there were some people that think that, you know, because of CJ Stroud's accuracy that we're going to see 30 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. Like, hold off your horses just a little bit. Yes, I do think he's going to be an amazing quarterback for this franchise. But the first year, something that rookies have always said is that even though the Shanahan style is a good offensive system to utilize, it takes rookies a little bit to learn. And so you got to pull the playbook a little bit. You got to take your foot off the gas in terms of telling your rookie quarterback what to do. You got to take the pressure off them. You got to let it run more. You got to focus on those short passes, use the short passes as the extension of the run game. I think that's what our offense is going to look like, a lot more consistent. You're going to see Dalton Schultz out there, a lot of third downs, making those third down conversions. He's not going to be the yak guy and taking a 5-yard pass and making it 50, but he'll take that third or fourth of 4-yard pass and make it 7. And we'll actually be able to convert on third downs, unlike last year.
So I'm glad you brought up Dalton Schultz. So this is my person who's going to be cut. I think Brevin Jordan's going to be cut.
No question.
Yeah.
I didn't know he's still on the team.
But and also you said it's hard for rookies, which you're right, to learn that scheme. But the last rookie that was the highest accurate quarterback in that draft class to go in that scheme, you know who that was? Mr. Robert Griffin III, and look what he did. I'm not saying that's what CJ Stroud's going to do. I'm just saying, hey, let's be happy about it.
I just think all the pieces align, man, for for like CJ, right? When Crenshaw first mentioned the running game, I think the running game is going to be one of the reasons why we see CJ flourish. There is an actual 1A, 1B running back. We haven't had a tandem like this in years, and it's going to take a lot of the load off of CJ Stroud. Devin Singletary, I think it was the past 3 years, 30 caught balls with the Buffalo Bills. He's going to bring that here to Houston. That's another dynamic weapon for CJ Stroud. I think that, man, like, I don't want to put too much Kool-Aid into CJ Stroud, but I am excited for him, man. And shout out to Richard and Rick and Cole, for commenting so much. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to you guys for having me and Harley on. CJ Stroud, bro, he's him, and I'm just excited for him.
No, for sure. Guys, before we get going, because time's coming close, let's go with our hot take. So Chris already got his crazy hot take. That
hold on. That's not crazy. That's accurate. Singletary, a better runner, a better pass catcher. Look what he's done. He's gonna have 170 touches ever, and last year Pierce had 220 some touches. He was a better running back. Period. I know you don't want to hear it, but it's the truth.
Would it shock you if Devin Singletary has more rushing yards than Dameon Pierce? The question to everyone.
Yeah. Answer that.
A little bit. I mean, because I would think Pierce is your number one back.
Yeah, it would surprise the hell out of me because Pierce has proven that his yards after contact is almost
insane,
unmatched. To give Singletary that when you know that he doesn't get those yards after contact the way that Dameon Pierce can. And I think that anytime you have a back that can get those yards after contact, you have to make him your RB1 because you know that even when your line falls apart, he can still get the job done. That's first and foremost. So when you have a back that can perform without a line, imagine again what a back can do with the line. I don't see any way he's not RB1.
All right. Well, let's going back to hot takes. Harley, you said that you had one. Let's hear it, man. Let's hear your hot take.
Come strong, buddy.
Let's see. I said it on the Clutch City Chronicles. I did not say it on my channel just yet. I will say it here. Ruben knows about it. Texans go 9-8, win the division, get in the playoffs.
Ooh.
That right there is what I mean.
If the years to do it this year, right? You play the NFC South. The AFC South is still questionable. Like, I mean,
a lot. You see, and that's what a lot of people go woo, and then they let it simmer in the skillet, and they're just looking at it and they're going, that's actually kind of realistic. That's actually like, let me smoke what Pat Man Jones was smoking on the Pat McAfee show. Like, let me get on top of that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Let me say 9-8. And then, of course, this is the sad scenario that I mentioned to Ruben, which is
dude. Don't even fucking say that, bro. Listen, before he tells y'all this, we were drinking yesterday, a great time. After he said that shit, 10 minutes later, we went home.
Look, man. So when the schedule came out, me and Ruben did a live on his channel. and he was like so hyped because he's like, man, Harley's got this team getting a lot of wins, going 9-8, 9-8. And I told him, look, we're 9-7 going into week 18. Week 18 is what defines pain for Houston sports. When it comes to the Rockets, when it comes to the Astros at times, when it comes to the Texans, it is going to be a full circle moment because week 18, you face the Indianapolis Colts. And last year in week 18, you faced the Indianapolis Colts. So this year, if you win, you're in. I have them finishing 9-8. I did say they're 9-7. They're going to lose to the Indianapolis Colts in week 18. You know why? Because they should have lost this year to the Colts, but they didn't. And this year they got to win against the Colts, and they won't.
Okay.
That's Houston sports. That is pain personified. That would hurt me, but ultimately, 9-8 team doesn't make the playoffs. Yeah, sure, that kind of stings, but hey, 9-8, dude, I'll take that any day from a freaking whatever the hell we saw last year. That was disgusting work that I saw every Sunday yelling at my TV screen like Quisenberry was going to magically improve all of a sudden. Like, I mean, I'll take that. 9-8, first year head coach. That's coach of the year level stuff right there.
Yeah, I have him going 8-9, but hey, I'll take 9-8.
Well, hold on. I got a question. Harley, you're not in that flaming hot movie that come out June 9th, right?
Say it again. Say it again.
That movie is called Flaming Hot Cheetos. It come out June 9th. You're not in that movie?
Yeah. No, I am not, but I'd love to do a cameo.
Is that racially motivated, Crenshaw? Because we're Mexican? Is that because we're Mexican?
No.
Is that why?
No. Let me tell you why I said that. Because Matt always say you bring out the Flaming Hot Cheetos. So he just brought out a Flaming Hot take saying we're going 9-8 the first time and winning the division. I like that take. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah,
I think the movie's gonna be pretty good because I'm gonna watch it June 9th.
I'm watching.
Shout out to Flaming Hot.
Shout out to Flaming Hot. The lemon kind, right, Crenshaw?
No, I like the puffs.
Oh, see, that's where the Hispanic side of us comes in, man. You gotta get it with lemon.
You gotta get it with the lemon and the tahini and the ball, bro.
Well, I'm with the tahini. I'm with that. I like the tahini.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Ruben, speak to us, bro. What's your hot take?
I think CJ Stroud wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Will Anderson wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think everything has gone right so far in this Houston Texans on season. You hired the captain in D'Amico Ryans, right? That story in itself is a movie. You bring back the guy who was drafted by you to fix your fucking team. You just got your franchise quarterback and a defensive anchor in Will Anderson. All is up for the Houston Texans, and it's going to carry on to the season. And at the end of the year, CJ Stroud and Will Anderson will have Offensive Rookie and Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Now, has that ever happened that a team has won both Offensive Rookie and Defensive Rookie?
Last year the Jets.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh. Yeah, damn.
All right, Crenshaw.
Yeah, look at you.
That was quick. That was quick.
That wasn't no Google anything.
Yeah.
Damn, boy.
Encyclopedia up over there, man. Like, yeah. You can let me finish. Ooh. All right. Well, guys, we got one more section. This is a fan favorite. It's who is all right, this is where we get to ask y'all a question. Now, if y'all don't want to answer it, you don't have to. But BT, real quick, I'll start off with you. Ask the question away.
Yeah. So the first question I need to ask is, what is on your playlist right now? When you want to go, whether it's you working out, whether it's you just taking a walk, whether you just want to get hyped up, what is the first song on your playlist right now?
It is that Peso Pluma. Woo! Let's go. We got the mullet for a reason on Ella Baile Sola, Peso Pluma, number one song in the world right now. Grupo Frontera con Bad Bunny. Shout out to my Latino family, man. La Raza, bro.
He killed it.
Until we drown over him.
He killed it at Backlash. Bad Bunny killed it at Backlash.
Hey, he killed it at Backlash. He came out in Booker T. Shout out to Bad Bunny, man.
For real. Harley, what about you? What are you listening to?
Yeah, I'm fucking with a Grupo Frontera, Bad Bunny. I listen to a lot of NF when I'm trying to get hype sometimes.
The
I like YB
Christian
and Corday a
NF,
lot.
shout out to
Hey,
him.
man, I like YB and Corday sometimes. I'm a mixed bag when it comes to music. So, like, when it's in the car and my girl's in the car, like, she's like, oh, let's listen to 2000s rock. Okay, sure. Let's drop out some 2000s rock. Sure, no problem. And then, when Dad used to be driving me, it's nothing but country music, Garth Brooks, all this good stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And then, hearing country music now is kind of like blood coming down my ears because I listen to it so much. Like it's just deafening at times. I'm like, okay, until it's like, rodeo time. But yeah, no, that's what I'm popping out to.
SPM's in the rotation. Shout out to my South Park Mexican coming out in 2024.
Bo Bundy? You don't know who Bo Bundy is, Ruben?
Damned if I do.
Damn if I don't. How the fuck the world with a chest full of smoke?
With a chest full of smoke.
Yes, sir. I love me some SPM. Kershaw, you got a question for the fellas?
Okay. Besides the obvious players that growing up, what's another guy you guys like from the Texans that like really made you become a fan of a team? And this for both of y'all question right here.
Ed Harley.
Immediate. So my first recollection, I know my dad went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers preseason game, the first one for the Texans without me, and I was pretty bummed about that. I remember that vividly. So my first
sorry, son, I left you.
Yeah,
sorry, son, I left you.
That's basically what happened. My first recollection, I'm gonna go Billy Miller. I remember playing a lot. I'm a big Madden guy. I used to know the whole roster inside out when I played Madden 04. Like it was just pretty. I mean, halfback sting to Jonathan Wells, who's been on y'all's channel many times. For some reason, that play only for Jonathan Wells, boom, 30 yards every damn time. But Billy Miller, the stretch over against the Cowboys, got to give it to me. I love me some Billy Miller. When people talk tight ends, I know they mention Owen Daniels a lot. And, hey, shout out to the OG Owen Daniels, the security blanket. That's the number one tight end in Texans history. A lot of people kind of forget about Billy Miller, man. Billy Miller was that guy. I love me some Billy Miller. So, yeah.
All right. What about you, Ruben?
Well, one that really got me into it, is Antonio the Ninja Smith. Every sack he got, pulls out the katana, throws out the ninja stars. Pro Bowler for the Houston. I think it was 2-time Pro Bowler for the Texans. Someone also, Kevin Walter, Mr. Reliable. Whenever there was a big play that needed to be made that wasn't Andre or Foster or Owen Daniels, it was number 83, Kevin Walter. Who caught that touchdown that sent us to our first ever playoff game?
In Cincinnati. Can't forget it.
Kevin fucking Walter.
I'm still crying for a wide receiver too for that team.
Oh man, it's like we never had one. Well, I guess you can count DeAndre when Andre Johnson was here. But all right, guys, my question: we interview sports, content creators, athletes, whatnot. Who is the biggest dicks y'all ever had to work with, and why?
Ooh. Who you want to get that one first, Ruben?
Nah, you go ahead, bro.
All right, that's easy for me. That's really easy for me. ESPN Houston 97.5, Jake Asman. I had him on my channel, and he goes. First of all, they're talking to him, messaging him. Cool. No problem. Okay, cool. I agree to come to the channel. Yeah. Awesome. Shaking hands. Agreeing. Yeah. The day comes. Hey, I just want to let you know right away. I know I agreed to come on your channel, but I can only be on for about 30 minutes because then I have my radio show right after. I said, okay, that's no problem. The day, then I go, I send him the link. Waiting. About a good 20 minutes goes by. Finally, after Shoot, I'm walking around doing whatever, cooking probably because I love cooking. So finally he comes on and I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, oh man, dude, I'm so sorry. All this, that, the other. I'm like, dude, there's only 10 minutes left before your radio. I'm not doing an episode with you right now. And he's like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. You know, like, nah, man, no. You're telling me you had 30 minutes prior to before the radio. Like, you didn't message me. You could have talked to me. Like, come on, man. I'm not. He is from ESPN Houston. This is supposed to be professionalism, right? I would expect it. I know there's a lot of people that aren't. I know there isn't, and I ain't gonna name any more. But Jake Hasman, yeah, we ended up redoing it, doing another video on it. He apologized for it. No, I didn't really like it. I didn't really like it at all. And then finding out, you know, when I make my coaches list 2-3 years ago, yeah, that whole ESPN wheelhouse, as they call themselves, taking some of the content from me without even messaging me about it. That's when I first started doing it. It was, yeah, I don't mind them. They're cool. But yeah, I'll drop names. I don't have no problem dropping names.
Damn. Ruben, what about you? I like it, man. Spicy. What about you, Ruben? Who you got? Can't hear you.
No, I was my fault. I'm not gonna drop no names because I'm not that type of person, but I do remember when I first started this YouTube channel, there was a lot of already established people who chose not to help. And those same people came back a year and a half later when their shit wasn't popping.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is be nice to everyone. We're all talking about the team that makes us sad every fucking Sunday. Don't be mean to people, man. Let's just all grow. I
think we all could read between the lines. We agree with you 110%.
100%. With that being said, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, it's been great. Everyone else who I've worked with, I've wanted to work with. I've never been forced to work with someone I don't want to have to work with. I think that's one thing that me and Harley, could say is that we're not forced to do this. We're not forced to put out a video. I do a full-time job. Harley has a full-time job. And we do this out of the love of the game, man.
Exactly. Agreed. Well, guys.
Well, hold on. I got a question. Since Harley, you say you like to cook. What's your favorite dish to cook?
I'll just go with whatever my girlfriend's favorite dish is, because she always be requesting the Cajun pasta that I make. So I throw a little crawfish tails in there. Sometimes it's shrimp, andouille sausage, and then the pasta of choice is usually fettuccine. I like a thick noodle. Pause there for everyone.
Resume.
But yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. It's yummy as hell too. Yeah, I get Parmesan cheese, or sometimes we're feeling extra fancy, get a little Parmigiano Reggiano right from HEB. So no problem. Or we'll go to the farmer's market a lot and grab some fresh mushrooms, grab a lot of fresh goods, throw it all together. But yeah, Cajun pasta, I do it a lot. It's very renowned. People like it, so I guess that's what I like making a lot.
All right. Well, guys, in the wise words of Crenshaw, this is the worst part of the show. It's because it's the end. Harley and Ruben, why don't y'all tell us where we can find on social media, or where we can find your great content and what you got cooking?
You want to go first, Harley, or me?
You go first, bud.
Yeah, so I drop daily Houston Texans content. Just type in 713 Houston Sports in the search bar. I just hit 6,000 subscribers today. That was an absolute huge milestone for me.
Congratulations, bro.
Let go.
On Twitter at 713HSP. I'm trying to grow right here. We're trying to get into the field. And before I say anything, Crenshaw, shout out to you. You know what you did. Thank you so much. I definitely owe you a beer. Yeah, and shout out to the Fan Battle, man. You guys are doing a great fucking job, and I believe in you guys. So shout out to y'all.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Harley, what about you?
You can find me at the lead_HOU on Twitter. You can type that in as well on YouTube. That's also my handle. So I do all Houston sports all the time. That's the montage. I am on the road to 2,000 subscribers. But when I get to 3,000 subscribers, because we are moving pretty fast with this thing, we got an autographed DeMeco Ryans football here. Yes, the head coach of the Houston Texans. Yes, former linebacker. All that good stuff. Oh, can you not hear me? Is that what's
No,
wrong?
I was telling Ruben. Couldn't hear Ruben. It looked like he was trying
to. No. I'm muted to talk to. They're rolling up right now. You feel me? I got to be in the rotation.
Gotcha.
Interesting. And on the road to 2K, close to it. On the road to 3K. 3K is the giveaway for the DeMeco Ryans football. So yeah, I push a lot of content. I try to do as much as I can.
Sir,
it's a grind. I respect everyone that does it. Takes time out of their day to do it. Man, I woke up at 4 a.m. today for work, and I'm here doing a podcast right now. So and I got to go to work tomorrow at 5 a.m. So yeah, I just a little aspect of my day. The only reason I mention it, a lot of people in my comment section just randomly the last few days were like, dude, you look tired. Like, dude, you kind of look like you're slurring your words. So I'm like, I'm not drunk, man. I'm not drunk.
You're tired. Leave me the fuck alone.
Like, this is what I do. All right. And they're like, oh, dude, take a break. No, I can't take a break. That's just not built in my system. I can't take breaks, man. I got to keep going.
Yes, sir. Crenshaw, what about you?
You can find me at Fifth Crenshaw everywhere. Harley and Ruben, I appreciate y'all coming on. Like I said, I've been following you guys for a minute and everything. So, you guys are inspiration to me, because this is something that I'm still, real talk. This is something that I'm still new at myself, even though I've been doing this for a little while or whatnot. But appreciate y'all. And like I said, I asked about the food because I'm into the food. You can ask those guys. I send them food every day.
I'm a chef too. So
and then Matt's a chef too, so he's into the food. And VT, I don't know what's going on with VT, but he be eating too though. But shout out to y'all though.
Yeah,
I agree with this comment. Like, we need to throw a tailgate party.
Hey, y'all don't know, but me and V got real lit at the tailgate. Remember that, V?
Oh yeah, we got lit.
Me and V were lit. We were getting too turned. My girl was there. It was a scene. I had the paramedics pull up to the game because my boy was throwing up in the stadium.
Not me.
No, not Harley. And my older boy Jacob. Shout out to Jacob. He can't hang. But if y'all do want to tailgate, hey, we'll be there week 2. Who are they called? The Nuff Said tailgaters?
Yeah, Nuff Said. That's the blue lot.
Yeah,
that's at the blue lot. They got the ski shot thing. It's a freaking vibe, man.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. You want to tailgate? That's it. That's the place to be.
Sir.
BT, kick us off.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Brown Chubby Bear. I do a lot of Twitter spaces, and me and Leo will be doing a recorded space that we'll edit down to our podcast on Friday. So check that out. We'll probably be after 8 or 9 p.m. So follow our social media profiles, and you'll see either me or Leo tweet it out. You can check out my latest article at fanbattlesports.com. And if you're watching this and you're not listening to this, subscribe to the audio podcast because that's where you'll find me and Leo's stuff. So got a lot of stuff going on. And I just wanted to say as a final thing, Jordan will always be the GOAT. I don't give a fuck about LeBron. Jordan will always be the GOAT.
Nah, you're old, bro. You're old. You know what you're talking about. You're past the days. Pass it on to the young guys like us. Okay, it's all good. Thank y'all so much.
I'm old, but it's still LeBron though.
Thank you.
I hate to admit this, but it is LeBron. But
I'm going Michael Jordan. Since someone wanted to ask me, I'm going Michael Jordan.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
I'll go MJ.
You can follow me at A1 Day 1 Texans. Again, Harley, Ruben, like Crenshaw said, man, y'all are aspiration. So thank you for coming on the show and hanging out with us. And guys, if you're watching this, make sure you follow their podcast. Help Ruben and Harley get subscribers. And we're also throwing a contest. Crenshaw is giving tickets away to the only preseason game. So subscribe, and we'll be raffling it off. So Only way to get in is to subscribe. So make sure you do that. And guys, you can follow the podcast at Texans Fan Battle everywhere on social media and on the Fan Battle Sports Network. So make sure you check that out. And guys, until next week, have a wonderful week.
Have a blessed day, guys.
Yes, sir. And we'll see you next week.
This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT.